I've just stopped by the side of the road because I spotted a large population of monkey orchids, and much to my delight there are loads and loads of man orchids spread throughout the population as well. And even better, after a bit of wandering around, I've clocked up about 20 hybrids between the two. Now this hybrid, which is called bergonii, is really interesting for me because from observations that I've made and from observations that people have made in the past, it looks like the hybrid is limited to the first generation. So by that I mean that pollen has been moved from, say, a man orchid to a monkey orchid, or vice versa, and the resulting offspring is unable to reproduce any further. They're all sort of 50-50 intermediates, and there aren't any which look more like man orchids or more like monkey orchids. So we know that these species seem to be keeping themselves separate, despite the fact that they can interbreed. And one of the ideas is that the hybrids, these offspring, cannot pass any genes on to another generation of orchids. And so because the offspring between the two species is unable to reproduce any further, it means that they are able to stay as separate species. So what I want to do is I'm going to sample some of the monkey orchids, some of the man orchids as well, and as many hybrids as I can find. And then I'm going to take them back to the lab. I'm going to extract their DNA and have a look at their DNA to see whether they are indeed sort of sterile and limited to that first generation, or whether they are actually back-crossing to their parents and reproducing with each other. So everything I've just told you, I've just had to try and explain in French to a random passerby who wanted to know what I was doing. There are many challenges in my PhD, but that's probably one of the more unique ones.